welcome back to Prime Wealth. Today we're diving into something that's really exciting, AI tools for personal finance.
Yeah, it's a hot topic right now. A lot of people are wondering how they can use these tools to take control of their financial lives, especially as they approach or are in their 40s and beyond.
Exactly. It's not just about the latest tech trends. It's about finding practical ways to enhance our financial decision-making.
We'll be talking about some specific AI tools you can start using right away, how they can help you budget, invest, and even plan for retirement.
And we'll also discuss the potential pitfalls to watch out for, so you're making informed choices.
That's right. It's all about empowering you with knowledge so you can leverage these tools effectively.
Plus, we'll share some real-life examples of how people just like you have successfully integrated AI into their financial routines.
So whether you're a tech enthusiast or just curious about how AI can fit into your financial strategies, we've got something for everyone.
All right, let's get into it, starting with what AI tools are out there and how they're changing the landscape of personal finance. So Alex, let's dive into why AI tools for personal finance are especially important for those of us over 40. I mean, right now, a lot of people are facing some pretty unique challenges, right?
Absolutely, Jordan. I think one of the biggest concerns is retirement timelines. People in their 40s and 50s are often in that crucial phase where they're not only trying to build their nest egg, but they're also starting to think about how and when they want to retire.
Exactly. And with inflation being such a hot topic lately, it can feel overwhelming. What used to seem like a comfortable retirement plan might suddenly feel inadequate.
For sure. Let's consider someone like Mark, who's 45 and has a decent savings plan in place. But with inflation rates rising, the purchasing power of what he saved is shrinking. If he doesn't adjust his strategy, he might find himself in a tough spot down the line.
Right. And it's not just about saving more money, but also about making smarter choices with that money. I've read that many people over 40 haven't really explored how to leverage technology in their financial planning.
That's a great point. Many folks still rely on traditional methods or maybe even outdated financial advice. But AI tools can analyze data way faster and more accurately than any human could. For instance, let's say Lisa, who's 50, wants to invest in a diversified portfolio. An AI tool can help her identify trends and suggest investments that align with her risk tolerance and financial goals.
So it's about being proactive rather than reactive. If Lisa waits until her retirement is right around the corner, she might miss out on opportunities.
Exactly. And then there's the emotional side of money security. A lot of people over 40 have more responsibilities. Kids in college, aging parents, all while trying to secure their own future. This can create a lot of anxiety and stress, right?
Definitely. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all of that. I've talked to friends who are just paralyzed by the decisions they have to make. But with AI tools, they can get tailored advice that helps alleviate some of that pressure.
Right. It's like having a financial coach available 24/7. For example, take Tom, who just turned 48. He's been hesitant to invest in stocks because of the market volatility. But an AI tool could show him historical data, helping him understand that, over the long term, stocks generally outperform other investments, even with those short-term fluctuations.
That's a very relatable scenario. Many people have that instinctive fear of the stock market, especially when they're nearing retirement age. So having AI help demystify that can be a game changer.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about budgeting. Many people think budgeting is just about cutting expenses, but it's so much more than that. An AI budgeting tool can analyze spending patterns and help someone like Sarah, who's 42, find areas where she might be overspending without even realizing it.
That's a good example. Sometimes it's those little leaks in our financial ship that can really add up. Plus, AI can help identify where she can save more, which is crucial when trying to bolster retirement savings.
Exactly. And when we think about this demographic, many are also navigating significant life changes, whether it's a career shift, divorce, or caring for aging parents. All of these factors can impact financial stability and require a more nuanced approach to planning.
Yes! And having real-time, data-driven insights can help people make better decisions in the face of these transitions. For instance, if someone is considering a career change, an AI tool could help assess the financial implications of that decision.
Right. It's about providing clarity. And, some people might think, I'm not tech savvy enough to use these tools. But many of them are designed to be user-friendly. So even those who aren't particularly comfortable with technology can still benefit.
Exactly. It's all about meeting people where they are. And the stats around financial literacy in older adults are concerning. Many people over 40 report feeling unprepared for retirement, which can lead to long-term stress and anxiety.
Yeah, and that stress can take a toll on overall well-being. But when people feel more in control of their finances, thanks to AI tools, it can significantly improve their quality of life.
That makes so much sense. It's like having a financial safety net that lets you breathe a little easier. With so many economic trends shifting, it's crucial to adapt and harness these new technologies.
Definitely. And the bottom line is embracing these tools now can lead to a more secure and confident retirement down the road. So it's not just about getting through the day-to-day. It's about building a foundation for the future.
Right, and as we shift into discussing core strategies, I think it's so important for listeners to understand that they don't have to navigate this journey alone. There are resources out there, including AI tools, that can really support them in achieving their financial goals.
So let's explore some actionable strategies that can help listeners leverage these tools effectively.
So let's dive into some practical advice. I think a lot of folks out there are really curious about how to effectively use AI tools for managing their finances.
Absolutely, Jordan. The first step is understanding what kind of AI tools are available. You've got budgeting apps, investment platforms, and even AI-driven financial advisors. Each has its strengths, but it's about finding the right fit for you.
Right. I mean, budgeting apps like Mint or YNAB can really help people track their spending habits. How do you suggest someone gets started with one of those?
Well, the first thing is to connect it to your bank accounts. This way, you're getting a real-time snapshot of your finances. I recommend setting aside, say, a weekend morning to really dig into it. Once it's linked, spend some time categorizing your expenses.
Yeah, I think that's super important. A lot of people underestimate how much those little purchases add up.
Exactly. Once you categorize your expenses, it's easier to see where you can cut back. For instance, if you find that you're spending a lot on dining out, you could set a more realistic budget for that category and stick to it.
So it's all about awareness first, right?
For sure. And from there, you can set goals. Let's say you want to save for a vacation. You can create a separate savings goal in the app and track your progress toward that.
Ooh, that's a nice feature. Speaking of saving, how can AI help with investment decisions?
Great question. There are platforms like Betterment or Wealthfront that use AI algorithms to help manage your investment portfolio. They assess your risk tolerance and investment goals, then create a customized portfolio for you.
So it's like having a financial advisor, but in app form?
Exactly. And they often have lower fees compared to traditional advisors. You just need to input your financial information, your goals. The AI does the heavy lifting in terms of asset allocation and rebalancing.
That sounds really appealing. But what if someone feels overwhelmed by all these options?
That's completely normal. I'd suggest starting small. Maybe use one tool at a time. For example, begin with a budgeting app before diving into investment platforms.
So, kind of like building a financial toolkit?
Yes, you can gradually add more tools as you get comfortable. And there are also robo-advisors that can provide automated investment management, which is great for those who might not have the time or expertise to manage their investments actively.
And they usually have low minimum investment requirements too, right?
Exactly. Some of them allow you to start investing with as little as $500. It's a great way to dip your toes in without feeling like you're risking a fortune.
I love that. Now, what about AI chatbots? Are they useful for financial questions?
Definitely. Many banks and financial services have chatbots that can answer common questions or help with basic transactions. They can provide quick answers, like checking your account balance or setting up alerts for spending.
I can see how that could save time, but how do you ensure the information you're getting is accurate?
Good point. Always double check with official sources or your financial institution if you're in doubt. It's important to remember that while AI can offer assistance, it's not a substitute for professional advice on more complex issues.
So don't rely solely on AI for everything, especially when it comes to significant financial decisions.
Exactly. Use it as a tool in your toolbox, not the only tool. And speaking of tools, have you heard about the AI-driven personal finance coaches?
I have. They're like having a financial mentor on your phone. How do they work?
They usually involve a subscription model. You provide them with details about your financial situation, income, expenses, goals, and they give personalized advice. Some even use machine learning to adjust recommendations over time based on your behavior.
That sounds pretty cool. But is there a downside to these AI coaches?
Well, they can get pricey, so it's essential to weigh the cost against the value you're getting. Plus, you should be cautious about sharing sensitive information. Always read privacy policies carefully.
Good advice. What about using AI for retirement planning?
There are tools like Personal Capital that not only help with budgeting, but also provide retirement planning features. They analyze your current savings and project how much you'll need to retire comfortably.
That's really useful. So it can help you see if you're on track or if you need to adjust your saving habits?
Exactly. You can even simulate different retirement scenarios based on when you plan to retire or how much you're saving. It's a great way to visualize your future.
It sounds like AI can really empower individuals to take charge of their financial futures. But I imagine there are some common pitfalls that people should be aware of.
Yes, that's a crucial part of the conversation. People often become overly reliant on these tools and forget to think critically about their financial decisions.
Right. The human element is still vital. What else should they watch out for?
Well, one common mistake is ignoring the fees associated with some AI tools. Even if they seem low, they can add up over time.
Oh, absolutely. Transparency is key. And I imagine it's easy to get swept up in the excitement of new technology, too?
Yes, it's important to stay grounded. Always ensure that the tools you choose align with your personal financial goals and values.
So it's about balance. Using these tools to enhance your financial knowledge, but not letting them take over your decision-making.
Precisely. You want to leverage technology, not be dictated by it.
That's such a powerful takeaway. So let's explore those common pitfalls a bit more. You know, Alex, while AI tools can be super helpful, there are definitely some common pitfalls that people fall into.
Absolutely. One of the biggest mistakes I see is over-reliance on these tools. People think that just because an AI tool gives them advice or generates a plan, it's foolproof.
Right, like they assume that it's going to be perfectly tailored to their unique situation. But AI doesn't understand the nuances of personal lives, right?
Exactly. I had a client once who used an AI budgeting app without considering their individual goals, like saving for a grandchild's education or planning for a special family trip. The app just focused on cutting expenses, which led them to feel deprived rather than empowered.
That sounds frustrating. So how did they realize it wasn't working?
Well, they started feeling overwhelmed, like they were missing out on important family moments. Once we sat down together and looked at their budget with those goals in mind, everything changed. They adjusted their spending categories to include family experiences, and it made a huge difference.
That's such a great example. It's a reminder that tools are there to assist, not replace our judgment.
Exactly. Another common mistake is not regularly updating the information in these tools. For example, someone might set up their financial plan using an AI tool based on their income from a few years ago.
Oh, right. And then they get into trouble when their circumstances change, but they don't update the tool.
Yes. I had a client who got a promotion but didn't adjust her income in the budgeting app. She kept following the same spending plan, which was now way too tight. She ended up stressed, feeling like she couldn't afford anything, even though she was earning more.
That's such a classic case of missing the bigger picture. It's like, if you don't adjust your input, how can you expect the output to be accurate?
Exactly. And that's where the danger signs come in. If you're feeling increasingly frustrated with your budgeting or investment tool, it might be time to reassess.
Definitely. And speaking of reassessing, what about the issue of ignoring the emotional aspect of finance? I feel like that's a big one too.
Oh, huge. AI can crunch numbers all day, but it can't account for how a person feels about money. I had a client who was using an AI tool to manage their investments. It was doing well, but every time the market dipped, they panicked and sold everything.
That sounds stressful.
It was. They were reacting out of fear rather than sticking to a long-term strategy. We had to work on their mindset, helping them understand market fluctuations are normal and to trust their plan.
It's so important to balance the analytical side with the emotional side. When you only focus on the data, you might miss out on what feels right for you.
Exactly. And another pitfall is forgetting that AI tools are only as good as the algorithms behind them. If they're not updated with the latest market conditions or trends, they can give outdated advice.
Right. I can see how someone might follow a strategy that was once successful, but now, not so much.
A great example of this is with retirement planning tools. Some older models don't factor in new retirement account options or changing tax laws. A client of mine once relied on a tool that hadn't updated in years, and they ended up missing out on significant tax savings.
Wow, that's a real eye-opener. So what can people do to avoid these pitfalls?
Well, first, I'd say regularly review your financial tools and their recommendations. Make it a habit to check in, even if it feels tedious.
That makes sense. Like, schedule a monthly check-in to see how your budget aligns with your goals.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to adjust based on life changes, whether it's a new job, a move, or even a new family member.
And I think it's also key to remember that it's okay to seek human advice, too. Sometimes, having a conversation with a financial advisor can clarify things that an AI tool just can't.
Definitely. A good advisor can bring that human element and help you interpret what the numbers mean in your life.
So, it sounds like a combination of using AI tools, but not letting them dictate your financial decisions entirely.
Yes, that balance is crucial. And another important aspect is to stay educated. Keep yourself informed about both personal finance and the tools you're using.
That's a great point. It's empowering to understand what you're working with.
And trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, don't ignore that gut feeling.
So, if someone starts to notice these danger signs or feel stuck, what should they do next?
They should take a step back and assess their situation holistically. Look at their goals, their emotional relationship with money, and how their tools are performing.
And if they realize they need to make changes, what's the best way to go about it?
Start small. Maybe it's adjusting your budget categories or setting up a regular review schedule for your financial tools.
And don't be afraid to reach out for help if needed.
Exactly. So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together.
So now that we've covered some of the benefits of using AI tools for personal finance, let's dive into some immediate actions our listeners can take.
Absolutely, Jordan. It's all about taking those small, manageable steps. First, I'd suggest assessing your current financial situation. Just sit down for a bit and take stock of where you are. You know, your income, expenses, debts, and savings.
Right, and once you have that overview, you can start thinking about what areas you'd like to improve. That's where AI can come in handy, right?
Exactly. One of the first tools I recommend is a budgeting app. There are several out there, like Mint or YNAB. You need a budget. They use AI to analyze your spending habits and help you create a budget that actually works for you.
And it's so user-friendly, too. You just link your bank accounts, and the app categorizes everything for you. It really gives you a clearer picture without feeling overwhelming.
Yes, and speaking of user-friendly, let's talk about savings tools. I absolutely love apps like Acorns or Digit. They automatically round up your purchases and save those spare coins for you. It's an effortless way to build a savings habit.
Oh, I like that. It almost feels like you're saving without really noticing it. And for listeners who may want to invest,
Great point. There's also some fantastic robo-advisors like Betterment or Wealthfront. They use algorithms to manage your investments based on your financial goals and risk tolerance. You just have to set it up and then let it do the work.
that sounds so efficient. And for those who might be hesitant about investing, these platforms often provide educational resources too, right?
Exactly. They make investing feel less intimidating. You can start with small amounts and gradually increase as you become more comfortable.
Now, what about tracking expenses? Any tools you'd recommend for that?
Sure. Apps like Personal Capital not only track your spending, but also help you plan for retirement. They give you a comprehensive view of your finances, and their AI algorithms provide insights on how to optimize your portfolio.
That's super helpful. And for listeners who prefer a more hands-on approach, maybe they could start with a simple spreadsheet. right?
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with going old school. Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets can be great for tracking expenses. You can customize it to fit your needs, and it gives you a chance to really engage with your finances.
It's definitely about finding what works best for you. And how about building some good financial habits?
Yes, habits are key. I'd suggest setting a specific time each week to review your finances. This could be as simple as checking your budget, looking at your spending, or reviewing your savings goals.
That's a great idea. Consistency is so important. And maybe even setting reminders in your phone to help keep you accountable.
For sure. You could also consider automating some of your financial tasks, like setting up automatic transfers to your savings account or automating bill payments. It reduces the mental load and ensures you're always on track.
And speaking of automation, there are also AI tools like Zeta that cater specifically to couples managing finances together. That could be a game changer for those in partnerships.
Definitely. It helps streamline communication around money and can keep both partners accountable.
Now, let's not forget about education. Are there any specific books or resources you'd recommend for listeners to deepen their understanding?
Absolutely. The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey is a classic, and it offers practical advice. Also, Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin provides a great framework for rethinking your relationship with money.
Those are both fantastic. And don't forget online courses. Websites like Coursera or Skillshare often have personal finance courses that utilize AI-driven insights to enhance learning.
Yes, and that can be a great way to learn at your own pace. You could also check out podcasts or YouTube channels focused on finance. Those can be super engaging and informative.
Right. It's all about keeping the learning process enjoyable and relevant.
And as you start integrating these tools and habits, remember to be patient with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it's about making gradual improvements.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a sprint. And every small action counts towards building that long-term financial security.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together.
Well, that was quite a deep dive into AI tools for personal finance, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It's fascinating how technology is reshaping our approach to money management. So let's recap some key takeaways.
Right. First, we talked about how AI can help with budgeting. It's like having a personal assistant that tracks your spending and provides insights to keep you on track.
Exactly. And then there's the investment analysis aspect. AI tools can analyze market trends and help you make informed decisions. It's a game changer, really.
And we can't forget about the personalized financial advice that AI can offer. It's tailored to your unique situation, which is particularly beneficial for folks who might feel overwhelmed navigating their financial future.
That's a good point, Jordan. Plus, the automation of savings through AI is something that can really simplify life, setting those goals and letting the software handle the rest.
Yes, it's all about making your financial journey smoother and less stressful. Remember, folks, using these tools doesn't replace the need for a solid financial plan, but they can certainly enhance it.
Right, it's about leveraging technology to empower your decisions and build that long-term security.
So, as you explore these AI tools, think about how they can fit into your financial strategy. They could really make a difference.
And don't forget to take those small steps. Every little bit counts when it comes to your financial health.
Speaking of steps, if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop a comment and share this with someone who's over 40 and might find it helpful.
And next time, we'll dive into sustainable investing trends. Definitely something to look forward to.
Absolutely. It's an exciting topic that blends finance with a meaningful impact.
Until then, keep exploring your financial possibilities. And remember,
you've got this.